And disruptions due to COVID pandemic have resulted in high shipping freight rates as well as global container shortage. Now, to discuss the outlook for FY22, we have with us Mr. V. Kalyana Rama, the Chairman and MD of Concor. Hi, sir. Thanks so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. Well, I want to focus on this first. There's plenty of talk that there is a bit of a shortage in terms of containers, and it's having impacts on various businesses. Now, for y'all, it could have an indirect impact. So if you could give us a sense in terms of, are you seeing some kind of a slowdown in terms of volumes, and what is your volume guidance for FY22? I think earlier you were guiding for a double-digit number. Could you quantify that? What is the broad range?
The same. The guidance we are not changing. The guidance I have given you is around 12% increase we will be able to get in this year. So we will stand by that guidance. Yes, there is container shortage, definitely in the EXIM trade. A lot of empty containers are being repositioned into India, but that they are not sufficient for our export volumes because imports have come down. Originally, we used to have more imports and less exports, but this time because imports have come down and exports picked up, there is an imbalance on the export side now. And I think the disruptions happening on the China-US routes, which even some reports today say there are many ships waiting at China. These things are causing a lot of effect on our export volumes as well as the empty container repositioning into India. So the things will be like this. Yes, there will be a problem. I don't think it is getting sorted out maybe before the end of this financial year. So there will continuous shortage among exporters and then a lot of demand for the export containers.
Okay. Short point though, you're still sticking to your guidance of around 12% volumes for FY22. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes, that guidance, we are sticking to it. We are not changing it.
Okay, all right. Noted that. The other big factor, and you have mentioned numerous times on our channel as well as at various events or even in your con call, you have been talking about the DFC-related benefits. If you could give us a sense whether or not you're seeing some kind of operational benefits and also that big shift, the big shift from road to rail, is that happening? Is there evidence?
No, look, it's too short a time to talk about these shifts. But yes, operationally, definitely things are improving because DFC started functioning and DFC started 1 month back.
Right.
So 1 month is too short a time to talk about trends. Let me not talk about trends right now, but operationally, yes, the trains are reaching, the containers are reaching within 60 hours to ports. That's a good move. From Delhi to Mundra port, if the container can reach within 60 hours going through the hub, that's a fantastic thing, and a lot of exporters are happy and people are coming to rail, yes. A lot of cargo which otherwise used to go, the time-sensitive cargo for the export for the Western countries. So those things, these lightweight commodities are also coming to us.
Okay.
And it will further increase, there is no doubt. And DFC, in fact, now we are operating only one hub. We'll soon be operating our second hub at Swaroopganj, that near Palanpur. Once we start operating these two hubs, then further and further traffic we will be putting on to DFC. That will benefit more and more the importers and exporters. Particularly in the time sensitiveness, yes, very much. Cost-wise, there is no difference because the costing on DFC is as the same as being charged on the IR network. So there is not much of cost benefit in that.
Okay. And just give us a number. I mean, when does the second part get commissioned? You said later on. So could you tell us a time frame out there? And also, if you could give us a sense.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So let me first clarify. See, it's not a question of DFC commissioning. It is our second hub.
Yes.
Container Corporation, we developed a hub at Kathuwas, which we are operating now. We developed another hub at the other end of the DFC, which got commissioned now connecting Mundra and Pipavav, a place called Swaroopganj. That's near Palanpur. That we are commissioning, we are ready, but there are some interconnectivity things with the DFC are being worked out and they are being ironed out.
Okay.
So it will start functioning very soon, maybe in days. Once it starts functioning, the more traffic will come on to DFC, including JN Port traffic.
Okay.
So today we are not moving JN port traffic via DFC, but then we start moving that also. So 3 ports, Mundra, Pipavav and JN port, all the traffic will move on DFC between Swarupganj and Katwas of these 2 hubs which we operate.
Got it. Okay. The other factor, that was center stage for a large part of the last few months was the land license fee. Now, I believe that you had offered to pay this LLF amount upfront for 30 years or so. So, if you could tell us, has this, been accepted by the Indian Railways? And also, if you could quantify the amount?
No, that's still in the work in progress. As of now, the LLF payment, even if we pay on a regular yearly basis, that has been completely settled and there is no further doubt or anything. The speculation need not happen on that. See, last year there were so many reports that we have to pay some 1400 crores, somebody claimed something else and all that. But this year, as I mentioned in my yearly call after the financial year results, it will be roughly around 425 crores. That's we calculated. That is for sure now.
Okay.
After the terminals, what we have given up, and today we are operating out of 24 terminals owned by the railways, railway land. But regarding the long-term leasing of 30 years,
yes,
that's still work in progress.
But what is the offer you'll have put forth to the Indian Railways? What is the amount?
Let's not discuss that. That is, when I say work in progress, these things have to be finalized.
Okay. Final question then. Any update in terms of the divestment of Concord? Have you heard anything? Is it likely in this year? I believe now it's been pushed to the next year. That's the next fiscal year. Any comment on that? We need your comments.
No, see, the thing as it is, the status quo is maintaining. So there is, I don't think anything like what you are telling also is correct or not. Because FM has announced on the floor of the house that this is for this year's divestment, and we have not heard anything further on that. So there's no comment from my side.
Okay. So all right. And there'll be a surcharge.
The status of the divestment.
Okay. But operationally, there'll be a surcharge that you'll be levying from October 1st. Could you quantify that and what kind of impact it'll have on business?
That there will not be much of impact on the business. See, the thing is that we have not increased our fares for last 1 year and the costs are increasing. There is a inflationary trend. It will always be there. So there is a slight adjustment. We are charging 2,000 rupees for import container and 1,000 rupees on export containers.
Okay.
In addition, because the terminal costs, maintenance costs are increasing. So these are the imbalance charges, and so all these things put together, we made some imbalance charge for loaded container. This is only on the loaded containers, import load and export loads.
All right. It's been good speaking to you, sir. Thanks so much for stopping.